return to our village carrying Little Talk in our baskets, Father frowns. Later, he takes me to a lone lodge at the end of our village down by the river. Walking Turtle, in just one more winter, you will come here to Warrior School. Walking Turtle, here in Warrior School you will face many tests. You will learn the ways of a great hunter, a proud and brave warrior. It will not be easy. Father crosses his arms in silence, a sign that his words are finished. But I know what his unspoken words are saying. I must come to Warrior School, but Little Talk cannot. How can I come here without Little Talk? Inside, I do not like this, but I answer with respect. Ahita nuts. Yes, my father, I know. Father is Soaring Hawk. He is well respected in our village as a fair and honest trader. He has traveled as far west as Schmauken. S-H-A-N. Shamaka. Yeah, I can read. Let's do that again, shall we? Father is Soaring Hawk. He is well respected in our village as a fair and honest trader. He has traveled as far west as Shamokin on the great Susquehanna River and as far south as Shakamaksan, the center of Lenape-Hoking. He trades our fine beaver pelts, deer skins, antler pipes, and seashell beads that grandmother makes. Sometimes he brings back things from afar, like a woodland buffalo robe. Someday, if I do well in Warrior School, I will go with him. But I worry about Little Talk when I am gone. Tonight is our giving thanks ceremony in the big house. Everyone sits with their own clan. Little Talk, Heartberry, and I sit behind our mothers and grandmothers. We are of the Turtle clan. Father sits with the Wolf clan, and Little Talk's father sits with the Turkey clan, but we are all Lenape. We, the people, have gathered to give thanks to Kishle Mukong, our creator. It could be Kishel e Mukong, too. It is a chilly night. Mother makes us wear our leggings. She wears her turkey feather cape. Her long black hair is dressed with a shell comb, and she has painted small red dots on her cheeks and eyelids. I think she looks beautiful. She does. Like most of the hunters and warriors, Father's face is painted part black and part red in honor of Messingu. Missing, the good spirit of being of the forest, who keeps watch over all the trees, plants, and animals. Messingu. It's M-E-S-I-N-G-W. So it's like me sing W. Me sing. The good spirit of being of the forest. A special dancer wearing a bearskin and the mask appears to remind people to be grateful to the good spirit being, especially for the hunter's safe return. Then the big house grows silent, waiting for White Antler. White Antler is our Sakima. I wonder what a Sakima is. Dun, dun, dun. All at once, our drums begin to beat. Louder and louder they pound until they become the very heartbeat of the earth. My heart beats with the drums until it is pounding too. Suddenly, the drums stop, and my heart seems to stop. There stands White Antler, dressed in the head, antlers, and hide of a huge white stag, with dried deer hooves tied above each knee. They jangle as he dances from one end of the big house to the other, shaking a turtle shell rattle in his hand. Little Talk and I watch every move until White Antler stops in front of our carved center pole. Lenape, first people of the sunrise, listen well to my words. Kish-ele Mukong, our creator, has given our people a land that stretches far beyond the great salt sea and sky blue mountains. I have seen the valley of our Ohio brothers and the big waters of Michigan. I have heard of the long river of the Mississippi people that divides and washes wide places of grass. I have heard of high mountain peaks of purple that stand guard over other valleys crowded with giant trees and rivers that flow down to another great salt sea where Brother Sun sleeps each night. We, the people, first to welcome Brother Sun, must be ever grateful to Kishle Mukung for this vast land beyond our mountains. We must show our thanks by being the caretakers of this bountiful land in harmony with Kishle Mukung. Our drums start to beat. Our people begin to dance. Then Little Talk whispers, "Walking turtle, carry me up to the thinking place." I think he wants to think for a little while. But do you see how White Antler wove that story so beautifully that you could actually see mountains and valleys and trees and places of the West? Unnoticed, we slip out of the big house into the night air. A cold wind blows from the north as the gray clouds race across the starry sky. We climb the hill above our village and perch on a big overhanging rock. My mind races too, thinking about warrior school and Little Talk and the White Antler's words. Could there be two boys like us on top of those purple mountains gazing up at the same stars? Could White Antler be right? Are we the caretakers? Is this why I must go to warrior school? I stare up at the great white path, searching the ancient stars for an answer. But the stars are silent as they arch across the night sky. I wonder if he's talking about the Milky Way, the great white path. A silent time passes between us. Then Little Talk yawns, and so do I. It is very late, and we are sleepy. As I start down the path, the thickening gray clouds close in, and a light snow begins to fall. In no time, Little Talk is asleep on my back. But at that moment, I think Little Talk is the stronger one. I feel like Little Talk is carrying me. Below, the first snowfall of winter lightly covers the bark of our lodges. My people are still gathered around fires, telling the stories of old, the drums beating softly now. Someday I too will tell the tale of this night, but for now I am thankful for one more snowfall to add to the snows of 12,000 winters. One more winter has come to the Lenni Lenape. We, the people, will keep our fires burning. What a sweet story. And here's a note from the author. Trinkahake Snowball says, I live on a hill above the Passaic River in northern New Jersey. As I hike the woodland trails behind my studio, I've always felt a respectful and close kinship to the original people who lived here so long ago, the Muncie Lenape. At a bend in the river is a place called Flat Rock where the water flows into many shallow rock pools. It is believed the Lenape women washed their clothes and utensils here while their children played. It is the same place where we bring our neighborhood children to explore and play in the shallow water. The timelessness of these ancient New Jersey hills, the endless flow of the river, the gentle wind rising up from the valley floor to shake the dried beech leaves like a Lenape turtle shell rattle has inspired me to dream of a boy named Walking Turtle and his life as an original American. So I set this story here, in this ancient land of the Lenape, where Brother Sun rises up from the great salt sea each morning to greet this land we call America, this place where I live. this place where the spirit of the first Americans endures. And then they have some definitions in the glossary, and the Great White Way is the Milky Way. So the Lenni Lenape, for those of you who don't know, were the original people who inhabited New Jersey, southeastern New York, western Connecticut, eastern Pennsylvania, and Delaware. This vast area was called Lenape-Hoking, or Land of the Lenape. And I can feel their spirit here. It's definitely here. A lot of our roads down here in South Jersey were originally Lenni Lenape trails. And the beauty of Cumberland, Cape May, Atlantic, Burlington, Gloucester, Salem, all these counties down here still hold the magic that the original people must have experienced. What a wonderful place this must have been, and still is. So let's enjoy it, let's take care of it, let's not litter it, let's clean it up, let's respect it and love it so that future generations can enjoy it as well. So we hope you enjoyed this wonderful story, The People of 12,000 Winters. Please stay tuned for the next story and a cool craft after that. And we hope you enjoyed your day today at Belleplain State Forest. So the forest has a song. Yes, it does. You've been listening to it as I was reading the other story. This book is by Amy Ludwig van der Water, and it's illustrated by Robin Gorley. And look how pretty that book is. I'll try to put it on an angle so you're not getting the glare from the plastic. But it's a little girl holding a pine cone with a dog and a couple of birds. And there's a beautiful picture of a path through the forest on the other side. My idea of heaven. A nice path through a forest. What more could you ask for? And look at all the leaves. Isn't it beautiful? I love leaves. Every fall since 2014, when I go on a walk, I'll pick up a couple of fall leaves and I'll bring them home and draw them. And I use colored pencil, and I call them the Book of Leaves. And I've been doing that for 6 years now. So, Amy Ludwig van der Water dedicates this book with love to my parents, Debbie and George Ludwig, and to my sister, Heidi Ludwig Zvolensky. And Robin Gorley dedicates this book for Hannah, Luke, and Jeff, my companions in the forest. And I'm assuming, I don't know if Robin is a boy or a girl, but whoever they are, they draw really beautifully. Very, very pretty nature pictures. Looks like watercolor and maybe some other paint. So it's actually a series of poems, but they're really pretty, and so I'll read a couple to you. I don't think I'm going to read them all, but I'll read a couple. This poem is called Invitation. Invitation. Today I heard a pine cone fall. I smell a spicy breeze. I wish I had smell-o-vision for you because it smells really beautiful in this forest. I see a forest wildly waving rows of friendly trees. I'm here, come visit, please. That's a cute little poem. This poem is called Dead Branch. It's more like a haiku. Spongy, springy stick, I pick it into thin bits. Slivers sail the wind. And the next poem is about one of my favorite birds in the whole world. It's called Chickadee. Chickadee, come, fly here. I have some seeds. Fly here. Sit on my hand. I will not hurt you, Chickadee. Fly here. It's safe to land. I'm watching. I'm thinking. I'm scared of you, child. I'm used to flying free, but you are small. Your hand is still. Are all those seeds for me? I don't think it was a chickadee, but think it might have been finch. A finch landed on my hand this spring when I was putting out the seed. She couldn't wait for me to fill the bird feeder, so she just landed on my hand like, today? Where's my seed, lady? Oh, wait a second. Let me pick out a couple more poems. Oh, how about this one? Lichens. Oh, we like lichens. Late at night I look for lichens, tracing flakes in shades of dark. Messages in cursive code cover stones and bumpy bark. Lichens are graffiti artists. Lichens make their mark. It's so true. Never thought of them as graffiti artists, but that's hilarious. And how about this one called First Flight? You know what kind of critter that is? That's right, it's an owl. First flight. Mommy, I'm scared to be this high. All owls are scared on their first flight. My tail feathers feel tingly with fear. You can do it. Calm down. Careful now. Steer. I can't see a thing through all this black. Just go to spruce and come right back. Flap, 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 whoosh. Flap, 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 swoosh. Look, Mom, I made it. Wow, I can fly. I knew you could. You were born for the sky. That's a poem about the bird. By the mama bird. Okay, I like this one. It's called Spider. I don't know if you know this about me, but I love spiders. I really do. I don't get all like, I think they're awesome creatures. They're highly intelligent creatures. Did you ever watch a spider build a web? I mean, it's such a wonder of construction and engineering. It really is. I wonder if spider was the original stem. Spider, a never tangling, dangling spinner, knitting angles, trapping dinner. It was a very short poem. The next poem is called Dusk, and I think we will close with that one. Dusk, sleep tight, baby animals, so small, so full of zest. Burrow in a burrow, nestle in a nest, snuggle in a tree trunk, crawl beneath a stone. I'll try that one again because we were Storius Interruptus by Car Alarmus. Dusk. Take two. Dusk. Sleep tight, baby animals, so small, so full of zest. Burrow in a burrow, nestle in a nest. Snuggle in a tree trunk, crawl beneath a stone, cuddle with a mama, huddle all alone. Peek out at the sunset winking way out west. You'll meet the sun. With running fun. It's night now. Hush now. Rest. Thank you, Amy Ludwig van der Water and Robin Gawley. And you can get this book at the wonderful Bridgeton Public Library. That's where I got it from. Forest has a song. I'll keep it out, so if you guys want to come in, you could come in and enjoy it. It's such a wonderful book. There's so many nice poems about things in nature. I think you'll enjoy it very much. So thank you so much for tuning in today to our stories part of the story time. We hope you stay tuned for a cool craft. It'll be something naturey. And once again, some big shouts out to Peter Menzelman, to Terry Davis, and to Kathleen. I'm sorry, Kathleen, I don't know your last name. And to me, Adaria Armstrong, who loves to be out in nature and loves to bring nature to you. So please come to Belleplain State Forest. It's not too far. It's only like 35 minutes from Bridgeton. You could do it. It's so beautiful. It's so entirely worth it. You can come in, park, take the trails, rent a canoe. It's wonderful things to do here. And that dragonfly just said, yes, please go. So thanks again, everybody. Have a wonderful day. Happy reading, and we'll see you soon. Peace. Hey, what's happening? Welcome to the crafting portion of story time with Ms. Adaria. Actually, I'm going to be MX Adaria now. I saw something, I was like, what? MX? What does that mean? All right, I don't know. So today we're going to have part 2 of our wonderful trip to Belleplain. We hope you enjoyed some of the pictures and all that groovy stuff. And the nice ladies at the craft table at Belleplain gave us a second craft. Isn't that wonderful? And what is it, you ask? Well, it's going to be a sacred turtle shell rattle. And they use these turtle shell rattles for ceremony. So they would kind of keep the time with it, you know, they like when they were chanting and getting down with their religious ceremonies or spiritual ceremonies, they use these rattles to keep the time, to beat the time. And these rattles were not only used by the local Native Americans, our Lenni Lenape. Some people say Lenape. I don't know. It's kind of like, you know, you say tomato, I say tomato, but I'm sure it's spelled correctly, so there you go. But it was also used by the Iroquois Native Americans, the Navajos, the Cherokee, and a bunch of other Native American tribes around the U.S. and in Canada, down in Mexico probably, because the turtle is very sacred and special and part of a lot of Native American tribes' creation stories. So we're going to make a sacred turtle rattle. And they used the shell of the turtle, whichever turtle it was, and then they used a piece of hide, either deer or other animal skin. And that was the under part of the turtle, and they would attach it to the shell of the turtle. I'm not sure how exactly, but we're going to be using this very ancient, old, mystic stapler to attach those. And I've seen people use tape as well. And to get it to rattle, we have to put something inside of it that's going to make noise. And traditionally, the Lenape or the Lenape used to put the teeth of beaver or coyote or whatever other animal teeth they would gather after they would hunt them, eat them, use their skin, etc., etc. They would put the teeth of these critters inside, and that's what would create the rattle. But since I am not about to go out and get those critters just for their teeth, we are using these wonderful kidney beans. Yes! So that's what is going to make our rattle. And along with the rattle had a stick. So we're going to use this really fancy chopstick. We're going to put that in there. And usually the rattle had a feather on it and probably some other ornament as well. But all I had really on hand was a feather. So I have a beautiful turkey feather, which they definitely would have used because wild turkeys are all over South Jersey. You know that. You've seen them. You've almost run them over. And they are beautiful. Look at that feather. Isn't it beautiful? This part keeps them warm, the closest part to their body. That's why it's kind of like down almost. And this is the more ornamental part of it with that nice iridescent sheen, the black lines, the light brown and dark brown lines. It's just such a beautiful feather. Really amazing. And I'm a feather girl. Like Keeper Allison at the library, I have so many feathers from so many different animals at home that it's not even funny. I'm hoping I can make wings one day and just take off, but that hasn't happened yet. And we also have some other friends from past crafts that are joining us. We have our turtles. We have these cute little turtles that I brought from home. They're made out of ceramic, and they belong to my grandmother Anna, who loved critters. So hope you're having a fun time wherever you are, Grandma. And this is the pond that we made last year. I thought it was fitting that we should have a pond. And here is our turtle that we showed you from last week. And look, here is even our canoe that we made. So it's all part of the same wonderful craft. And we have an otter here just waiting. So I think what I'm going to do to start this craft is I'm going to color the shell of the turtle. And you could really use whatever colors you want. You can make it as colorful as you like. I mean, seriously, there's so many things that you could do to make this a beautiful turtle shell. And, you know, we don't have to color the whole thing because I don't want to keep you here all day. But we'll do something fun so that it looks beautiful. And whatever color floats your boat, it's all in your imagination. I'm not quite sure if the Lenape actually colored their turtle shells because they probably were colorful enough. But it's just an extra added something special that you could put your mark on when you're doing these type of crafts. So thank you again to the ladies of Belleplain who supplied these crafts to us, the canoe and the sacred turtle shell. I, for one, am very excited to be able to get to do this craft for you today. So whether you use crayons, colored pencils, or if you have magic markers at home, you just go for it. You color it any color you want. Make it as colorful as you like. As colorful as you are. Yes. I am sure that you are made up of wonderful colors. Let's get a little red in there, a little pop of color. And you could do it artistically too, you know, you could just put color wherever you want. You don't have to have the same pattern for all of the whole shell. And I really like yellow. I don't know about you, but yellow is a great color to work with. Have you ever seen a painted turtle? Or eastern box turtle? Really beautiful turtles. How about that little turtle in the Belleplain story time, the part 1? That poor little turtle who thought I was going to eat him, but I really was only just giving him a little kiss. There I was, out in nature, harassing animals again. How about that color on that turtle? That like light orange belly and that red along the side. And look at that turtle. It's kind of like, I went to a Wheaton one day and I walked in their nature trail and I saw the most beautiful, I think it was an eastern box turtle, or was it a painted turtle? I'm not sure, but it had, here, let me draw on it had, so in its little blocks on the back of its shell, right? It had like almost like a handprint. It looked, little blob, maybe some more spiky things, like so, like just different patterns like that. I don't know why I can't think of the name of this turtle, but it was so cool. And I may have told you this story before, but this is how silly Miss Adaria is sometimes. Since I was at Wheaton and I'd never seen one of these turtles in person before, I honestly thought that somebody at Wheaton had painted this turtle. I thought somebody captured this turtle, painted its back, you know, because it's like an artist colony. So I was like, okay, so now they're decorating the turtles. Painted its back and then let it go again. And I was kind of like, well, that's not really nice. And, you know, poor turtle and everything. And then I got home and did some research. And yes, those markings are natural. And I'm really glad that I was by myself. And I wasn't too embarrassed, by that. But then on the other hand, I'm sharing it with you so that I can be embarrassed. Yay! Isn't Miss Adaria just so silly sometimes? But I didn't know. I was like, I had no idea, honestly, because I'd never seen one of those turtles in person. And these little painted things on his back look so perfect. It looked like a stamp, like someone had come along, dipped a stamp in orange paint, and did a design on the back of this turtle. And I was like, well, I guess that's kind of cool. So here we are finishing up our coloring. And as you can see, I've just gone wild with color for your secret turtle shell rattle. You can use any colors you like, anything that makes it look pretty and interesting and wonderful. And we'll just do a couple little more doodads along the outside because the outside's looking a little boring. All right, we'll get some yellow in there. Ooh. And then we'll get a couple other colors going. You could do as much or as little as you want to decorate your turtle shell for your secret turtle ceremonies that I know you're going to have. I'm sure they use these at naming ceremonies, or when a boy was old enough, they would consider him entering into manhood. Maybe they had a girlhood one too, when a girl was considered old enough, and all that kind of cool stuff. Maybe when they gather to like pray for rain, or pray for their crops to grow successfully, or pray that a hunt would go well so they could feed themselves. Stuff like that. You probably use the secret turtle shell rattle for a lot of different things. I see one area that's just not colored at all, so we're going to just come in here with 2 colors and call it a day with coloring. How do you feel about that? I think we need, what color would you like to use? How about this color? I think it goes well with these other colors. I'll color that in too. Yeah, what do you think about that? That's kind of nice, isn't it? Yay, so let's put these away so we can have some room to work. So, I didn't get the exact instructions on how to do this, so we're going to be doing this together for the first time. So what I think I'd like to do is, the reason why this one is bigger than this one is because it's going to make like a little pouch. So I think what we can do is maybe gather this a little bit. Maybe that's why it's easier to use tape than it is to use a stapler. But we'll find out. I'm going to start with a staple and see what happens. And if it doesn't look like it's going to happen, we'll stop the tape and I'll go run and get some tape. And then we'll start the tape with the tape. Yes. Yeah, I don't know if this is going to work with the staples, but I'm just going to try just to see what happens. And we're going to leave a gap open so we can fill our turtle shell with some beans. It might work. Maybe if I fold it over a little bit, and then the beans won't fall out when we secretly rattle it. Yeah, that's not happening. Okay, so Miss Adaria is going to stop the tape because we need to go get some tape, and we'll be right back.
Okay, we're back and we're better than ever. A new and improved turtle shell rattle making. Yay! So we're getting rid of these staples because they just didn't do it for us. That's okay. See, this is a lesson in when something doesn't work, try something else and see if that works. But the original design was tape. I was trying to modify it with staples, but it did not work. So I think what I'm going to do is take out this last staple here, and we're going to go around the perimeter of these shapes with the tape, and hopefully it'll stay. And hopefully we didn't. There we go. Mess this up too much to use it, but I don't think so. I think we're fine. I guess I'll start up on this corner and use a little bit of tape. I think that's how you did it. Now, when I've seen pictures of these sacred turtle shells, the hide is definitely wrapped over onto the top of the shell. But I'm not quite sure if they made glue out of some other substances and that's how they adhered it, or what, because I don't know what they used to actually hold them together. I guess they use some sort of glue. I guess you can make glue. Okay. And we want to tape it so that the beans aren't going to fall out. But let's remember to leave a little space that we can load some beans up in there. Maybe I'll leave the bottom open, and then we could tape that up after we've beaned it. All right, our sacred turtle shell rattle is looking pretty rattly. Just thinking how I want to make that stick. Or maybe what we could do is this. Maybe we could take a piece of tape, right? Before we close it up, we could put some tape on the top. I used a chopstick, but you could just go out in the backyard or in the front yard or on your next walk and go out and get a stick. But I didn't have any sticks. There's no sticks right around here around the library, and I forgot to get one at home. So there's your stick, right? So you can imagine how it's gonna sound. And before I seal this part up, I'm gonna put some beans in there. And then when you're done, you could eat the bean, take your rattle apart and eat the beans. Okay, let's see. Let's see if it'll work if I could just pour some in. Ooh, without getting too many on the table. How many beans do we want in our rattler? Let's see what that sounds like. Is that too many beans? Let's take a couple of beans out and see what that sounds like. Look how pretty those beans are. Aren't they beautiful? I think I like that sound a little better. What do you think? And we'll just close this up with a little more tape. Not staples. I think I'm going into my Pee Wee Herman mode. I meant to do that. And then let's see if it'll work. Oh, there's a bean. That bean wants to escape. No, beans will escape this rattle. I'll just put a little piece of tape over there. And since I don't have a piece of hide, I might use a little piece of tape just to stick my feather on here. Or maybe I'll just stick my feather right up in here. What do you think about that? Oh, that's looking a little authentic. Then we don't have to put tape on the feather. And now our sacred turtle rattle ceremony will commence. I'm not going to do any chanting. That's just a little kind of stereotypical. So. How about this could be our rain dance rattle? I used it yesterday and see what happened? Of course, we're filming this on a day that it rained a lot last night. So what do you think of your rattle? Do you love your rattle? Yeah, I like that rattle, man. It's about as big as I am, but can I get some of those beans, please? Sure, Otter. You can have as many beans as you like. Maybe you plant one and you'll grow a giant beanstalk. And you can go hang out with Jack. Yay! So thank you so much for hanging out with us today and making this beautiful secret rattle with the secret turkey feather. Coloring it in. Not using staples. And thanks again to all the lovely folks at Belleplain that helped us with our crafts, giving us our supplies for our crafts today. So get out there and visit Belleplain. We hope you enjoyed part 1 and 2. And stay tuned next week for some other fun, exciting thing that we're going to do here on Miss Adaria's Storytime. Woo! Rattle cam. Rattle cam. Yay!